rules. You can talk. To send your secretary.
Questions? These are the questions.
Chief Whip. Chief Whip, are we ready? Okay.
talk.
Secretariat. Clerk, come back, please. Where are the votes and proceedings? Documents. Okay, just read. Distinguished colleagues, votes and proceedings. Page 3059. Page 3060. Are you just distributing the votes and proceedings? Votes and proceedings. I'll start again, please. Please, Deputy Minority Whip. Votes and proceedings. Page 3059, page 3060, page 3061, page 3062, page 3063, page 3064, page 3065, page 3066, page 3067, page 3068. Distinguished Senator Ezekiel Dimka.
Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, I am Senator Ezekiel Dimka, representing the people of Plateau Central. I raise move that votes and proceedings on 23rd February 2022 be approved. I so move.
Thank you. Distinguished Senator Nora Ladi Dadut. Thank you. Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the votes and proceedings of Wednesday, 23rd February 2022 be approved, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. The votes and proceedings of Wednesday, 23rd of February 2022 is hereby approved. Letter from Mr. President. Dear distinguished Senate President, request for confirmation of appointment and renewal of members of the Monetary Policy Committee in the Central Bank of Nigeria. Pursuant, Minority Whip, please take your seat. Pursuant to Section 12 subsection 4 of the Central Bank Act 2007, I am pleased to forward for confirmation by the Senate the appointment of the underlisted 2 new members and renewal of 5 members of the Monetary Policy Committee in the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. Professor Mohammed Adaya Salisu, new appointment. Dr. Mo Omar Megbe, new appointment. Professor Michael Obadan, renewal. Professor Festus Adiola Adenikinju, renewal. Professor Aliyu Sanusi Rafindadi, renewal. Dr. Robert Asogwa, renewal. Alhaji Aliyu Ahmed, renewal. While hoping that this submission will receive the usual expeditious consideration of the Senate, please accept the single Senate President the assurances of my personal regards. Yours sincerely, Muhammadu Buhari. Letter from Mr. President. Transmission of the Nigeria Startup Bill to the National Assembly for consideration. Pursuant to Sections 58 subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, I hereby forward the Nigeria Startup Bill 2021 for the current consideration of the Senate. The Nigeria Startup Bill 2021 aims to position Nigeria's startup ecosystem as the leading digital technology center in Africa, having excellent innovators with the cutting-edge skills and exportable capacity. In order to do this, the bill seeks to establish a national council for digital innovation and entrepreneurship. While hoping that this submission will receive the usual expeditious consideration of the Senate, please accept the single Senate President the assurances of my best regards. Yours sincerely, Muhammadu Buhari. Letter from Mr. President. Dear distinguished Senate President, Electoral Act Amendment 2022 matters arising. I write with the reference to the recent assent to the Electoral Act Amendment 2022 and to draw your kind attention to some salient issues contained in the Act and to seek your immediate legislative action thereon. I have carefully studied the content of the recently assented Electoral Act Amendment 2022. I must admit that there are positive provisions that could revolutionize election process in Nigeria, particularly through the introduction of new technological innovations that will in turn guarantee the constitutional rights of citizens to vote and to do so effectively. The recently assented Electoral Act has improved and engendered clarity, effectiveness, and transparency of the election process, as well as reduced the barest minimum incidences of acrimony rising from dissatisfied candidates and political parties. I therefore commend the legislative wisdom of the National Assembly, which is in line with our policy to bequeath Nigerians and posterity a landmark legal framework that paves the way for a credible electoral process that we will all be proud of. Distinguished Senate President, I, however, will want to kindly draw your attention to the provisions of Section 84, subsection 2 of the Act, which I believe constitutes a fundamental defect as it is in direct conflict with the extant constitutional provisions. Section 84, subsection 12 of the Act constitutes a disenfranchisement of serving political office holders from voting or being voted for at conventions or congresses of any political party for the purpose of nomination of candidates for any election in cases where it holds earlier than 30 days to the election. Section 84, subsection 12 of the Act provides as follows, and in courts, no political appointee at any level shall be voting delegate or be voted for at the convention or congress of any political party for the purpose of the nomination of candidates for any election. End of quote. This provision has introduced qualification and disqualification criteria that is ultra-vires the Constitution by way of importing blanket restriction and disqualification to serving political office holders of which they are constitutionally accorded protection. The practical application of Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Act Amendment 2022 is to subject serving political office holders to inhibitions and restrictions referred to under Sections 40 and 42 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. It is imperative to note that the only constitutional expectation placed on serving political office holders that qualify by extension as public officers within the context of the Constitution is resignation, withdrawal, or retirement at least 30 days before the date of the election, as provided in Section 66, subsection 1F of the 1999 Constitution, as amended amongst others. Hence, it will be stretching matters beyond the constitutional limit to import extraneous restrictions into the Constitution on account of practical application of Section 84, subsection 12 of the Act, where political parties, conventions, and congresses were to hold earlier than 30 days to the election. Arising from the foregoing, I request the National Assembly to consider immediate amendments that will bring the Act in conformity with the Constitution by way of deleting Section 84, subsection 12 accordingly. Please accept, distinguished Senate President, the assurances of my highest consideration. Yours sincerely, Muhammadu Buhari. Letter from distinguished Senator Dr. Yakubu Oseni, Chairman, Senate Committee on ICT, Cybercrime, Kogi Central Senatorial District. Your Excellency, letter of invitation for project commissioning in Kogi Central. On behalf of the Kogi Central Senatorial District, I humbly invite Your Excellency and all the distinguished senators to the official commissioning of my constituency projects across the 5 local government areas of my constituency. Below is the detail of the program. Date, 10th March 2022, and that is a Thursday. Venue, Okene, Kogi State. Time, 9 a.m. Kindly accept expression of my utmost regards. Thank you. Signed, Senator Yakubu Oseni, PhD, Chairman, Senate Committee on ICT, Cybercrime. Letter from Senator Dr. Kola Balogun, Oyo South Senatorial District. Mr. President, sir, clap. Notification of the date of the coronation of the new Olubadan of Ibadan land and invitation to the ceremony. Distinguished colleagues, please, our colleagues who are not wearing their masks, please use their face mask, please. This thing is still important. On behalf of myself, the entire members of the Aleo, Balogun, Okumade, the people of Oyo South Senatorial District, and the people of Oyo State in general, I have the pleasure to delightfully inform you that following the official approval of the Oyo State Governor, His Excellency Engineer Olosei Abiodun Makinde, my senior brother, His Royal Majesty, Kabesi, Oba Senator Olelekon, Ishola Balogun Aleo Ali Okumade II shall be formally crowned as the new Olubadan of Ibadan land on March 11, 2022. I am hereby requesting for the highly esteemed presence of Mr. President and members of the 9th Senate at the epoch-making event as a mark of honor to me, the people of Ibadan land, the people of Oyo State, and the entire members of the Olubadan in Council. Your presence shall be highly appreciated. Kindly accept the assurances of my esteemed regards. I remain yours sincerely, Senator Dr. Kola Balogun. Letter from Senator Hassan Mohammed Wisau, German Wisau, Chairman, Senate Committee on Ecology and Climate Change, Zamfara Central Senatorial District. Your Excellency, notice of my inevitable resignation from the Senate. I wish to crave for your indulgence to inform you and my very distinguished colleagues that I am deemed to answer a clarion call of the good people of Zamfara State in another capacity. This unusual decision by implication warrants that I have to vacate my seat in this hallowed chamber as they consider me fit and able to serve them better as the Deputy Governor of a beloved state at this material time. As much as I would severely miss the fortitude, love, and deep affection shown to me by my respected colleagues, it is imperative that I submit to the wishes of my people, at whose pleasure I enjoyed my present status. Since this decision is to further defend and project their political interests and well-being, I have no option than to consent to it accordingly. After all, a good politician should always be ready to make sacrifices in the interest of the polity. I can at this juncture only wish each and every one of you Allah's protection and guidance as you strive to better the lot of Nigerians using the instrumentality of the legislative processes. I also want to use this opportunity to express my profound gratitude to all my colleagues for their invaluable cooperation, support, and innumerable assistance in the course of discharging my obligations to my constituents in particular, and Nigerians at large. It has been a very memorable experience for me working with seminal minds like you. I can never forget your mark of solidarity and would continuously pray that Allah in His infinite mercy should reward you all. Mr. President, I had to eschew emotion to take this hard decision, which is in the interest of the good people of Zamfara Central in particular, and Zamfara State in general. Thus, I have to take it and let the will of Allah prevails. I thank you most graciously for the quality time serving my constituents and Nigerians under your able and proactive leadership. Yours sincerely, Senator Hassan Mohammed Gusau. Birthday announcement. On behalf of the Senate, I congratulate the following senators on their birthdays. Senator Ekwaya Akeyi, 24th February. Senator Ramani Mustafa, 25th February. Senator Jibrin Isa, 28th February. Also today is the birthday of the single senators Aliyu Magatakada Mako and Einaya Abaribi, the minority leader. Congratulations to all our distinguished colleagues, and I wish all of them a happy birthdays, long life, prosperity, and many more years of service to our fatherland. Congratulations. Petitions. Distinguished Senator Patrick Ayo Akin-Elure.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, my name remains Senator Ayo Akin-Elure, representing Ondo Central. Mr. President, the presentation of petition not laid but referred to the Committee on Ethics from the Office of the President of the Senate. Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions, in line with Order 41 and 3, wishes to present to the Senate some petition yet to be laid from the Office of the President of the Senate, in order to officially place the petition in the public domain through the floor of the Senate, and for the votes and proceedings to capture the approval for referral. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, please find below a summary of petition received from the Office of the President of the Senate for ease of reference. 1. K.O. Fatai Osho and Bello Osage A. Teslim on behalf of Akiam Ebede family against the Nigerian Ajib Company NAOC. Subject matter of the petition, a call for Senate intervention by the Akiam Ebede family of Dogu Owo-Ama community in Nembe local government area of Bayelsa State on refusal of Nigeria Ajib Company NAOC to honor the concurrent judgment of the High Court in suit number YAC/87/99 and YAC/25/2000, consolidated for payment of arrears of rent and royalty due on 48 years on 225 acres of land on a resolved and settled case between Chief Olaibo Osain Ibokolo and 8 others versus Chief Sambo Ayesa Terian and 2 others, delivered by Honorable Justice Elizabeth Adokeme of the Nembe High Court, which was affirmed by Honorable Justice Datijo Mohammed JCA as then was on 9th day of June 2011 in appeal number CA/PA/16.208 and later reaffirmed by him, Honorable Justice M. Datijo Mohammed JSC at the Supreme Court in appeal number SC/H22/2014 on the 16th day of June 2021. to recognize them as their landlord and pay the arrears of rent and royalty due to them. 2. Taiwo Keke Omatade against the Nigerian Army. Petition by Major TKK Omatade on the arbitrary compulsory retirement by the Nigerian Army. 3. Dr. Babatunde Agui against National Open University of Nigeria. Petition on refusal of the National Open University to pay for services rendered to them. 4. Dr. Theophilus C.N. Undubwa on behalf of academic staff of Union of Research Institutions against the head of service of the Federation. Petition to rescue the entire Nigerian research institution sector from collapse resulting from self-interest of some government functionaries. Fervent appeal for investigative public hearing. And finally, Mr. President, 5. Dr. J.E. Jessa against Chief Chike Louis Nwabwawa, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Gwashi Uku Delta State. Lawlessness, impunity, terror, carnage, murder, rape, etc. by the use of Azuagu community of Ogwashi Uku, sponsored by Chief Chike Louis Nwabwawa, is serving as a Commissioner of Police and is associate over the chieftaincy title of Odogu of Ogwashi Uku. Mr. President, dear colleague, to the best of my knowledge, none of the above petitioner is seeking judicial remedy. I therefore move, Mr. President, to seek the indulgence of the Senate to lay the above petition before the Senate for official referral to the committee for further legislative action. I so move, Mr. President.
Is any of the petitioners seeking any judicial remedy?
Of them, Mr. President, none.
You may lay the petitions, please. Thank you. The petitions are referred to the Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions to report back within 4 weeks. Any more petitions? Distinguished colleagues, before, please can we clear the aisle, please? Distinguished colleagues, before I call on the leader to start the business of the day, I have a few remarks to make with respect to 2 very important developments. One is that on Wednesday last week, Mr. President signed into law the Electoral Amendment 2010 bill into an act, of course, we all might have seen in the media or have listened. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate distinguished senators for working so hard, for being very bipartisan, for being very patriotic to pass that bill which Mr. President signed into law. And we will all recall here that the passage of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill has been one of our major items in our legislative agenda. Both the House and the Senate work together to pass that bill for Mr. President to assent. And by that act or action of signing the bill into law, this Senate and indeed the 9th National Assembly has recorded another very important legislative achievement, because that bill has long been waiting for amendment. It was not successful for some reasons in the previous assembly. So I want to congratulate distinguished senators and indeed all members of the National Assembly for that feat. And I want to commend Mr. President for assenting, for signing the bill into law. Because what we have done is to bequeath to our great nation a legal framework that will sanitize the electoral environment in our country. There are so many good things in that act, and what we have done will definitely, by the grace of God, make very positive difference in the electoral processes in our country. I want to take this opportunity to urge INEC to take and utilize every important piece of the legislation in that amended act to improve our electoral process. That is the first one. The second one is the constitution review. Today has been slated for us to vote on the 68 bills that our Constitution Review Committee, under the distinguished leadership of the Deputy President of the Senate, our Committee on Constitution Review has worked so hard, and they also partnered with a sister committee in the House of Representatives. And therefore we have a harmonized document that we'll vote on today. This again is another important item in our legislative agenda, that we are able to pass the Constitution review in time, and of course send same to the State House of Assembly for concurrence. Today's exercise, unlike previous ones, will use the electronic voting. And of course we have tested the electronic system here. Our team of whips, from the chief whip to the deputy minority whip and the secretariat, worked since last week up to Monday yesterday to ensure that the electronic system of voting in the chamber works. So, and the process will go like this. The President of the Senate, who is the chairman of the Committee on the Review of the Constitution, will present the report of the committee to us. You recall that last week, the report was laid by the DSP himself. We will listen to his presentation, and we can take comments from distinguished colleagues, and thereafter we go into the voting process. The voting process will be, I will announce the bill and will take the bills as presented in the report, and senators will each register. And today, I'm sure all of us have before us our cards, which are placed inside our own smart card, or whatever the name is, to ensure that we are able to register. And when we say register, it will take us 30 seconds, and the 30 seconds will be displayed on the screen. You will press the button for registration, and that button, mine is showing something like yellow, but there are supposed to be 5 buttons there. 4, okay, mine is 5. There is for registration, there is no for voting, there is abstain. The white one is abstain, you don't want to vote, and then yes, you are voting for. You are sorry? Green, yes. The green one is you are voting for a bill. That is yes, you have accepted. And that also takes another 30 seconds. So every senator is expected, when I say vote, time will start to count from 30 seconds to 0. Within that time, you are expected to vote. If you don't vote within 30 seconds, then you have lost your vote. So we need to be very mindful so that we don't lose our votes. And after the completion of voting, the numbers will be displayed. Let me also say that at the registration point, the number of registered senators will show. Registered, say for example, 90 or 100. And when we vote, yes will show a certain number of those who voted for a bill. No, that is the red one, will show those who voted against the bill, and abstain those who refused to vote for yes or no. And then the total. And the total will reflect the registered number that we have taken. Distinguished colleagues, we need 73 senators to vote yes for any of our 68 bills to pass. Not 71. It's 73, not 71. No, it's not 71. Sorry? Okay, there is another one with 4/5. And 4/5 of 119, how much would that be? No, not at least. Let's calculate. Somebody should calculate it. We have to be exact. 87. No, 119 is, yeah? No, but the total number of senators here is supposed to be 119. Even if I'm not voting, it's supposed to be Chief Whip. We need to be exact. 88. Okay, so we need 88. Distinguished colleagues, please, this is supposed to be a simple matter. If it is 87.2, I will urge us to be on the side of caution. And to be on the side of caution is to make it 88. Because somebody could go and challenge if you say it's 87. So to be on the side of caution, let's use 88. Is that okay? That is for fifth. For fifth, we need 88 senators to vote for a bill. And for two-thirds is 73. Distinguished colleagues, if a bill passes in the Senate and passes in the House, that bill would have passed the test of the National Assembly and will be among those bills that will be sent to the State House of Assembly for their concurrence. If a bill fails here and passes in the House, the bill is dead. Vice versa. If it fails in the House and it passes in the Senate, that bill is still dead. It's not going anywhere outside of the National Assembly. So with this, I want to wish us the best of luck in this exercise, because we do this exercise only once in the lifetime of our tenure, normally. So it is a very, very important legislative exercise that will also ensure good governance at all levels of government. So is there any questions, Senator Mamisan Musa? You are raising your hand.
It's all right, sir.
Is there any question on this? Sorry? One person at a time, please. Who is raising his hand? Senator, okay, Jeff.
Thank you, Mr. President. Actually, I didn't hear what the Deputy Chief Whip said about 88 or this, because the Constitution is clear about when an item will be passed. So I actually didn't hear why he was mentioning 88 as to opposed to 73.
Okay, the issue is there is one or two bill that may require four-fifths of senators, and that is 87.2. And we thought it's safer to round it to 88. Four-fifths. The 73 we are talking about is two-thirds. But I think in section 9 or so, you need four-fifths to change the provision in the Constitution. Is that clear? All right, thank you. Okay. So, distinguished colleagues, with this, I want to once again say that when we undertake this exercise today, we would have completed all the major issues in our legislative agenda, all the major issues, in less than 3 years, by the grace of God. But of course, our country is facing a lot of challenges, so we'll continue to fine-tune those areas that we need to continue to engage. But as for what we have set for ourselves, I think we have done wonderfully well, at the risk of being immodest. But this is the time to say that the Senate, the non-Senate has worked so hard to achieve all those milestones that it did within the last 3 years or even less. So congratulations to the Senate. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the first business of the day is the presentation of an executive bill standing in my name on the 2022 Appropriation Act Amendment Bill 2022. Mr. President, we wish to invite the clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, 2022 Appropriation Act Amendment Bill 2022 SB 950, first reading.
2022 Appropriation Act Amendment Bill 2022 SB 950, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the first order of the day is the presentation and consideration of the Conference Committee report on the Nigerian Postal Service Act, Cap N137, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, Repeal and Re-enactment Bill 2022. Distinguished senators will recall that the Senate and the House passed different versions of the Nigerian Postal Service Act, Cap N137, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, Repeal and Re-enactment Bill 2022. The Conference Committee of both houses have met and harmonized the differences in accordance with the Senate State Order 87. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Robert Ajayi Borosis, Deputy Senate Leader, to move the motion for the Senate to consider the constitutional report.
The Deputy Senate Leader, distinguished Senator Professor Robert Ajayi Borosis.
Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Committee on Communications of the Nigerian Postal Services Act, Cap N127, LFN 2004, Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2022. I so move.
I need a seconder. Distinguished Senator Uche Lilian Ekwenife.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, my name is Senator Uche Lilian Ekwenife. I come from Anambra State. I represent Anambra State. Mr. President, I rise to second the motion as moved. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Committee on Communications on the Nigeria Postal Services Act, Cap N127, LFN 2004, Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2022, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. You may lay the report, please. Deputy Leader, you may present the report.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, you recall that the Nigerian Postal Services Bill was passed on the Senate on Tuesday, 8th June 2021, while it was passed in the House of Representatives on Wednesday, 1st December 2021. However, differences were noted in the versions of the bill as passed by the two chambers. Consequently, a conference committee was constituted in the Senate on Tuesday, 8th February 2022, and in the House of Representatives on Tuesday, 15th of February 2022, to reconsider the areas of differences observed in the two versions of the bill and make appropriate recommendations for adoption. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the Harmonization Committee have met, and after extensive deliberations, the Conference Committee resolved and adopted Senate versions in clauses 3, subsection 3, clause 28, subsection 5, clause 35, subsection 1, and clause 36, subsection 1, while clauses 8, subsection 1, clause 9, subsection N, clause 10, subsection 1, clause 33, subsection T, clause 68, subsection 2, D, clause 72, subsection 1, and 75 of the House of Representatives versions of the bill were adopted. The harmonized copy has been presented. Mr. President, I do recommend that the Conference Committee, having met and harmonized the areas of differences observed in the bill as passed by the two chambers, hereby recommend that the Senate do consider and approve the Conference Committee report on the Nigeria Postal Services Bill 2022 as recommended. I so move. Thank you, Mr. President.
Any comments? Leader of the Senate, Committee of the Board.
Mr. President, I rise to move that the Senate conference report. So we just vote.
Minority Leader. Oh, you didn't move. Okay, sorry, you wait for the leader to move. Just give me a minute, please. Let me sort out this thing. Yeah, leader, we put the question from here. Based on the conference report, yes. Distinguished colleagues, we have a conference report. And today is a day of negotiations, and so let's consult in law terms, because when we have to talk about constitutional review or voting for this thing, everybody is free to go and campaign for something, but let's do so. We have a conference report, and I will put the question on the entire report from here. So those in favor that the Senate do approve the conference report on the Nigeria Postal Service Act, Cap N 127, LFN 2004, repeal and reenactment, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the second order of the day is the presentation and consideration of the report of the Committee on Communications on the screening of the nomination of Professor Mansour Awol Binda for appointment as new non-executive commissioner in the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC. Distinguished senators will recall that the request of Mr. President Commander-in-Chief was referred to the committee on Wednesday, 19th January 2022. Mr. President, you may wish to invite Senator Ibrahim Yahya Olorebe to represent distinguished Senator Oluremi Shade Tinubu, who is the chairman of the committee, to move the motion for the presentation and consideration of the report.
Who is representing the, okay, Chairman, Committee on Health, distinguished Senator Ibrahim Oluremi.
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. My name is Ibrahim Oluremi. I represent Para Central. I rise to move that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Committee on Communications for the confirmation of the nomination of Professor Manzoor Awal Bendawa for appointment as new non-executive commissioner of the Nigerian Communication Commission. I so move, Mr. President.
I do the seconder. Distinguished Senator Ezewa Oyewuchi.
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. My name is Ezewa Oyewuchi. I represent Imo East Senatorial District. I rise to second the motion as moved. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Committee on Communications on the confirmation of the nomination of Professor Manzoor Awal Bendawa for appointment as new non-executive commissioner of the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCCI. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. You may lay the report, please.
Mr. President, can I go ahead to present the report? Mr. President, sir. Let's engage. He's not looking at.
Chairman, you may present the report now, please.
Thank you, Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues. The Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, at its sittings on Wednesday, 15 December 2021, considered the request of the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federation, for the confirmation of the nomination of Professor Mansour Awal Bindawa for appointment as a non-executive commissioner on the governing board of the Nigeria Appropriation Commission, and refers same to the Committee of Communication for further legislative action. The nomination was in accordance with the provision of Section 8(1) of the Nigeria Communication Act 2003, which says that all commissioners to be appointed after the coming into force of this Act shall be appointed by the President in accordance with Section 7 of this Act from the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria, subject to the confirmation by the Senate. Mr. President, the next session presented the basis and the current status of the commissioners in the NCC. I move on to Section 2, which is on screening. The committee met and invited the nominee for screening. The committee inspected and confirmed the curriculum vitae and other supporting documents of the nominee. The screening exercise took place on Wednesday, 23rd February 2022. The committee interviewed the nominee and received explanation regarding his qualifications, experience, suitability, and competence. In Section 2.1 and 2.2 are listed extracts from the nominee's curriculum vitae. Mr. President, I move to Section 3, which is on the findings of the committee. The nomination by Mr. President.
Distinguished colleagues, the chamber is a bit noisy. Let's listen to our colleague in silence, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. The findings of the committee. The nomination by Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is in consonance with provision of Section 8, subsection 1 of the Nigeria Communication Act 2003. The nomination by Mr. President is also in consonance with the provision of Section 11, subsection 2 of the Nigeria Communication Act 2003 regarding the filling of the vacancies on the board. The nominee met the statutory requirement regarding his professional and educational competence, credibility and suitability for appointment as non-executive commissioner on the governing board of the Nigeria Communication Commission. Preliminary checks did not reveal any record of indictment against the nominee by any administrative or judicial panel or court of law for abuse of office or criminal offense. And if the nomination of this candidate is confirmed by the Senate, the statutory requirement for the membership of the board as enshrined in Section 5, subsection 2 of the NCC Act 2003 will be fully satisfied. Recommendation, Mr. President. After exhaustive deliberation and scrutiny of the curriculum vitae and other supporting documents of the nominee, and having been satisfied with his qualifications, experience, suitability, competence, and ability, the committee hereby recommends that the Senate do confirm the nominee of Professor Mansour Awal Bindawa as non-executive commissioner on the governing board of Nigeria Appropriation Commission. Prayer, Mr. President, that the Senate do approve the recommendation of the committee. I so move, Mr. President.
Any comments? Leader of the Senate, Committee of the Whole, please.
Mr. President, I move that this chamber resolve the Committee of the Whole to consider this report. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to second the motion heavily moved by the leader. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor that the Senate resolves into Committee of the Whole to consider the report, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, approval. Will the Senate approve the nomination of Professor Mansour Awole Bindawa for appointment as the new non-executive commissioner of the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, I rise to move that the chamber resume progress in order for the chair to report progress. Resume plenary in order for the chamber for the chairman to report progress. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to second the motion that the Senate do revert to plenary for the chair to report progress. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the Senate reverts to plenary for the chair to report progress, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, the Senate in the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Communications on the screening of Mr. President's nominee for appointment on the screening of Mr. President's nominee for appointment as a non-executive commissioner on the governing board of the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, and approved the nomination of Professor Mansour Awole Bindawa as a non-executive commissioner on the governing board of the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Thank you. Confirmation. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Professor Mansour Awole Bindawa for appointment as the non-executive commissioner of the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Professor Mansour Awole Bindawa is hereby confirmed as new non-executive commissioner of the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC. Congratulations to the Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the third order of the day is the presentation and consideration of the report of the Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution on 68 Constitutional Alteration Bills 2022. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Distinguished Senator Augustine Obiomo Agege, Chairman of the Committee and Deputy President of the Senate, to move the motion for the presentation and consideration of the report.
The DSP Distinguished Senator Ove Omo Agege.
Thank you.
DSP, I hope we are not going to read the entire document. Okay, the highlights, that will be better.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ovie Omo Agege, Delta Central Senatorial District. Mr. President, I rise to move that the Senate do consider the report of the Committee on Constitutional Review on the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 5th Alteration Bill 2022. I so move.
I need someone to second. Distinguished Senator Kid Dixon.
Thank you, Mr. President and my dear colleagues. I am Henry Serake Dixon, and I represent Bayelsa West. I rise to second that this Senate do consider the report on the Constitutional Amendment Bill. I so second. It's a Constitutional Amendment.
Did you second it? Oh, okay. You say second. DSP, I'll put the question and then you make the presentation. Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the Senate do consider the report of the Committee on Constitutional Review on the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 5th Alteration Bill 2022, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. DSP.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ovie Omo Agege, Delta Central Senatorial District, Chairman of the Committee on Constitutional Review. Mr. President, I'd like to begin with introduction. Mr. President, on the broad understanding that it was not possible for the framers of our Constitution to have created a document which is eternal and which can serve society through all stages of development and transformation, this committee was constituted on the 6th day of February 2020 and inaugurated on the 12th day of February 2020.